What's going on, all you wild ghouls and demons? Logan Myerz back here for Cinephellas.com doing more horror movie reviews for 31 days of horror. And god damn it, I've been having a great time thus far this month talking about a lot of great and classic horror movies I've been revisiting, first time in a long time. So tonight I'm going to be talking about Tibor Takeshi's 1987 film, The Gate. So The Gate is a film I definitely grew up on, a lot of nostalgia with this movie. It was one of the first horror movies I watched as a kid that introduced me to the genre, and it really got me hooked on the genre. And ever since then, I've been a huge horror movie fan since the 80s. And this is definitely one of the movies that really creeped me out as a kid. And really great premise, some good performances, and really great practical effects in this film. With that being said, the setup of the film, we have Glenn played by a young Stephen Dorff. Oh, Stephen! Really great actor. He's been acting for a long time. He was just in the past season of True Detective, him and Mahershala Ali, really fantastic season if you guys have not seen that, but that guy's been acting for a long time. I guess he's most known for his role in the first Blade movie, but I know him from this role in The Gate, being a young kid. He's probably, 12 years old in this movie. So the setup of the film, we have Glenn and his buddy Terry. Terry's like the metal friend in the movie that introduces a lot of like metal music back in the day. I guess horror movies and metal music go hand in hand. Demonic, about demons, and it's super dark, and it's totally the atmosphere that you want with a horror movie. But I absolutely love Terry's character in this movie, being the young dorky kid, but he's really into music, and he has all the metal records, and it has to do with the story having to do with the ritual. But the setup, they find a hole in Glenn's backyard, and they basically unleash a bunch of little malevolent demons, little creatures that are really creepy looking. Put up an image up here what they look like, but I remember seeing this, in grade school when I was a young kid, so it creeped the shit out of me, and I always thought to myself, like, I'm going to fall into a hole and all these demons are going to come out and bite me. So Glenn and Terry accidentally perform a satanic ritual, and this hole becomes the gateway to hell, basically, with all these demons and rest of the things that show up along the way in the movie. So that being said, it's definitely a unique premise, and it's very 80s. Again, another movie I don't think they could make in 2020. They were talking about rebooting it, but I don't think they could pull it off. It would just be a CGI mess if they did, and I don't think they would ever use practical effects, which makes this movie super great and one of the best parts of the film. So with them performing the satanic ritual, opening up the gates of hell in this hole in Glenn's backyard, it sets up a lot of really great mystery and suspense in the film, and a lot of great scenes with these monsters. But I will say it takes a while to find its footing and to get where it's trying to go. I'd say the first 45 minutes are very, very slow. Not really much going on, just, seeing the friendship of Glenn and Terry, and then also Glenn's older sister. She's in the movie a lot, and see, the typical brother and sister relationship. They hate each other, they're always fighting. But it takes a while to really pick up, and the second and third act of the film are definitely the best parts of the film. It sets up a lot of really great scenes with unleashing these demons or showing up in the house. Terry falls into the hole, and that's the one scene in the movie I always remember of Terry falling into this hole with all his demons coming out, and they're biting him. And I always thought, the demons are gonna come get me as a kid. They're gonna get me when I'm sleeping, attack me, eat me alive. So it definitely messed with my head at a young age, and that's a good thing with horror flicks. If they can get in your mind and something you remember 35 years later, that's a good thing. You're writing a good story, you're making a good movie. Sets up a lot of great scenes with young Stephen Dorff playing Glenn. He's really great in this performance. He really shows what he's got as a young actor, to set him up throughout the rest of his career. He's been acting a long time, but he was really convincing in this role as a young kid. So him and his buddy are trying to figure out how to stop this, and sets up a lot of great scenes in the film having to do with opening the gate and all the demons running around their house, a very suburban house, and it reminded me very much of Poltergeist, the spooky ghosts and spirits and demons showing up at this very normal family in the suburbs. So I thought that was very relatable. Reminded me much of Poltergeist meets The Goonies meets Stranger Things. There's a few shots in this movie having to do with the demons that it felt like Stranger Things kind of ripped off this movie. I'm not sure if that's intentional, if the Duffer Brothers are fans of this movie. But the last half of the movie, they're really taking on the demons, and it turns into this huge massive creature, all practical effects, maybe stop motion. I'm not sure how they really pulled off these scenes, but it looks really good. It holds up all these years later. I think it really creates a creepy atmosphere, having to do with this gate and all these creatures and demons and how they're going to stop them and all the things these young kids come across. You know, putting yourself in that situation, what would you do? How would you stop these demons? How would you, close up the gates of hell? So it really makes you think. But really great ending, and it leads up to a sequel. They had The Gate 2, whatever that was called. It's really forgettable movie. Definitely not as good as the original. It didn't have Stephen Dorff in the second one, but it had Terry. It was more focused on him, but definitely not as good. But the original is a movie that I remember from the 80s, one of the bigger horror flicks, movies that really got me into the genre at a young age, a movie that really got inside my head. It really made me terrified of these little demon-like creatures, and that having to do with satanic rituals, having to do with metal music, and just a lot of really great aspects about it that stuck with me all these years later. And rewatching this for the first time in a long time, I really had a great time with it. Definitely holds up all these years later, and it's a movie I highly recommend during the Halloween season, and also a movie I recommend to the younger generation. Maybe some of your kids have never seen any horror movies. You're trying to introduce them to the genre. I would always start with the 1980s. I would definitely show them The Gate from 1987. It's rated PG-13, so it's not super gory. It's really well done all around, just really great directing, good cast, good premise, just a little bit slow in the beginning to find where it's trying to go, but the second and third act really are great, and it's a great payoff. So I'm giving The Gate from 1987 a 3.5 out of 5 demon hair pieces. So I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of the classic 1987 film The Gate? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What did you guys think of those little creepy little demons? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from The Gate. Woo! Until the next horror movie review for 31 Days of Horror. Cheers!